morning, our Zoom space is our sanctuary. Let us create sacred space together in this time and this place as we join our hearts, our minds, and our voices. Come, let us worship. And now we'll offer our prelude.
The first maybe at some point, if you and I can connect like this and correct both of them.
Thank you. And now Dennis will light our chalice.
Thank you. Our chalice lighting words are by Mahatma Gandhi. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in service to others.
Now I have a story I'd like to share. There are many stories that the individuals that have served in the armed forces share. These are stories that remind us of the courage, the sacrifice, the horror, and the humanity that can reside in the midst of war. The stories may help us to remember and to better understand that an intention of war is to protect our freedom and to nurture peace. Perhaps someone you know tells stories about their experience serving in the armed forces. This is one such story written by Major Reverend George Teager. Whoops, hang on, sorry. Got to get the right place. I lean back in the chair and exhale a long breath of thick cigar smoke into the night sky. It rises upward, swirls in a light breeze, and disappears. I think to myself, damn, this is a good cigar, a good night, and a good place to be for a few moments. Earlier today, I walked through the local bazaar where merchants sell overpriced Pakistani knickknacks and Chinese knockoff designer watches. I held out my arm to one of the kids running around, and he latched onto it and used it like a swing. I lifted him high off the ground. He swung and laughed as I carried him around, just as my own son does at home. It lasted just a moment, but it was a nearly perfect moment in an imperfect place. Moments are all we have, moments of laughter, moments of relaxation, moments to be alive. It can be hard finding anything good about being in a war zone. It is hot and dirty. It smells bad. There is the constant threat of IEDs or whatever other insane system someone has devised to maim or kill other human beings. Then there is the daily grind of guard duty and the details that can feel overwhelming, never ending. As the sweet smoke disappears, it reminds me that none of this, the smells, the sights, the sounds, the danger, and the grind, none of it is permanent. Maybe the last moment was a bad one. Maybe the next will hold something unwanted. But the present moment can be good if we are present to experience it. How many moments will you spend somewhere you would rather not be? How many moments will you really live wherever you are? Those are two different questions. If we spend our moments in regret or worry, if we see the bad in it all, then the moments will grind by one bad day after another, and we won't really be living, but existing, waiting for real life to begin. But real life is here and it is now. Whatever the conditions may be, there is a goodness to be found, even if it comes in small moments. A moment with a good cigar, a moment playing with a child, a moment with friends. Moment by moment, we live our lives. Like smoke rising into the sky, each moment will fade away into the next, and the next, and the next. Will you be present for the next moment of your life? It's always up to you. Real life is here and now, and we are all experiencing a battle against an enemy, a viral enemy that has no face, no allegiances, but is no less threatening to our peace and well-being. We fight this battle together by being present with one another and offering our support. And now let us join our voices in singing our hymn, America.
My country, 'tis a free, sweet land of liberty. Oh, thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's Pride, from every mountain side, let freedom ring. My native country, thee, land of the noble free, thy name I love. I love thy groves and rills, thy woods and templed hills. My heart with rapture fills, like that above. Let music swell the breeze and ring from all the trees, sweet freedom song. Let mortal tongues awake, let all that breathe partake. Let rock the silence break, the sound from home.
So all readers, will you light your candles now? I will light candles this day.
Candles of joy, despite all sadness.
Candles of hope where despair keeps watch.
Candles of courage where fear is ever present.
Candles of peace for tempest-tossed days.
Candles of grace to ease heavy burdens.
I wanted to light the other candle.
Candles of love to inspire my living.
Candles that will burn all the year long.
And now I have an introduction to Candles of Gratitude for us all. The great truth that all people face right now is that we are living in a time of 21st century pandemic. Living through a pandemic is not new to humanity. This current pandemic and the threats to our physical and mental health, our connections to others, our economic security, and our way of life may seem unique to this time. And yet, as a society, as a culture, we have all been here before. Throughout history, many have walked this path before us, and it is likely that it will happen yet another time in human history. As has been true before, we are a witness to the individuals who rise up and serve, those that respond to the moment with vision, with courage, and with the generosity of spirit to help make life better for us all. The great truth is that humans survive on the earth now because there have always been individuals who have prioritized the needs of many ahead of their own safety and comfort. Warriors that walk away from their homes to fight the darkness of injustice, of disease, of hatred and fear. The soldiers and frontline responders that walk into danger, discomfort, and uncertainty to light the way. Some will not return home. They light the path of peace for all of us, and for this we offer our gratitude. It is Memorial Day weekend, and traditionally it is a time set aside to honor the service of individuals that have offered something of themselves to light that path of peace. This morning, I invite you to take a moment to consider the individuals you know that have offered themselves in service to a greater purpose. Today, let that purpose include those individuals who serve on the front lines of the current battle against the coronavirus. Please take this moment to bring to mind those who have served in the military, as well as those who are serving as essential and frontline workers. The warriors, the doctors, nurses, aides, EMTs, janitors, cashiers, truck drivers, and countless others. If you haven't already and you wish to, you may light a candle or a light. And if Dennis would unmute everyone, you need not wait to be called on. When you are ready, say aloud the name or names of those that you choose to honor this morning.
Mary Carla McDonald.
Jeff Becker, Joe Williams,
Kidder,
Lady Terrio,
Joe
Time,
I, Foster Brown.
Max Fortier,
Daryl Brooks,
Stephen
Robert
Duquette
Brooks,
Jr.,
Early.
Bill Bond, Richard Bond.
Allison Lallimer,
Their uncle.
No cards.
Joseph,
Julia Lindenberg.
Fatima,
Donald Kirkham,
Any Jason. I mean, Dr. Dick Jason.
David Sutherland.
Brian Lallimer,
Michael Kent,
Priscilla Hopkins Quackenbush.
Donald Mark McGough, Ben Kennison,
Bill Koss,
Wilson Martinez and Joe LeConte.
Just against COVID-19.
Betty and Bill Schultz, Larry and Edna Spiegelberg,
Rick Harding,
Russell Whittemore,
We hold all these names in our hearts. And now our anthem, One Voice, sung by the members of the United States Navy Band and Choir.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Navy and all Americans, we'd like to thank our wounded warriors from each of the armed services and their caregivers for defending America with pride. We'd now like to dedicate this next portion of our concert to you. This is the sound of one voice, one spirit, one voice, the sound of one who makes a choice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one. The sound of voices too. The sound of me singing with you, helping each other to make it through. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices three, singing together in harmony, surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of all of us, singing with love and the will to trust. Leave the rest behind and turn to dust. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of all of us. Ooh. This is the sound of one voice, one people, one voice, a song for every one of us. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice.
And now we'll have a moment of musical meditation offered by Les, and then we'll follow that by Draw the Circle Wide. Can we unmute? You have to, there we go. Thank you. Thank you. And Les, if you can be ready to play taps at the end of the next piece. And we're going to, Dennis, we're going to skip over the responsive reading.
Okay.
Think of where you feel safe and at peace. What's the signal that tells you it's okay to be at peace? For people in the United States military, there's a special signal that says you're okay and you're at peace. It's a melody called taps, and it's only 24 notes long. It was composed by a general in the Civil War and his bugler. It's hard to remember how important bugle calls were in the military once upon a time. In the days before radio, bugle calls were the only way military units could communicate to groups over a large area. In the 1860s, the end of the day was important. If there was a time and peace enough to play taps, that was a signal that the camp was relatively safe. It meant that you were not under attack. It meant that there were no enemy soldiers to worry about. For the soldiers, taps meant the safe and quiet end to the day. Time to rest. Time to turn the lights out and let their eyes close, and as best they could, to be at peace. That's what taps means. It's like a powerful prayer. This weekend, many people in the United States are remembering and honoring all those who have died while serving in our military. So you might hear taps again. If you do, maybe you can stop what you're doing and think of every soldier who might have been afraid, and then let taps remind you that now they're at peace. In a moment, we will all hear taps played by Les Lambert, a powerful prayer to end our worship this morning. Thank you, Les.
Les,
You gotta
Audrey and
unmute.
Les, you've got to unmute, and we've got extinguishing the chalice right before it.
Oh, sorry, Dennis.
No worries. May you be sustained by this love always. Audrey and Les, you are unmuted.
Okay.